Good morning, everyone. This is Anthony, Wall Street Trader. It's 9:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, June 10th, 2021. This is not financial advice and is intended for educational purposes only. Twitter.com link is in the description below if you want to know what's going on between this video and tomorrow's video. And if you want to know when the next video comes out, click the subscribe button below and you'll be notified. Okay, so Nucypher allocation, we're at 43.7 cents. Have no particular short-term exit point because I don't know that we're going to hit 47,000 tomorrow. So I'll probably have another opportunity to go through this same exact slide tomorrow. So let's move forward into the market so we can all see what's going on. So we have had this broadening wedge that has started all the way back in March, maybe even a little further back than that if you remove this little wick there. We could be back from like middle part of Feb all the way to now in the almost middle of June. And this broadening wedge, as we all have been talking about over the last couple of videos, is very bullish because it's a downward wedge and it's broadening. More importantly, it's a broadening wedge. Now, what has to happen here is we're at the middle part of this. It's no way of saying that whether we're going to go down or up. But what I can tell you is that if we broke this top yellow line, we should go up to at least the 75 point. We should, and I say the word should because it doesn't mean that we will. As everyone is very familiar with crypto, nothing's certain. But generally in the law of the broadening descending wedge, you go up to at least the point where you started. So we have to see how this thing plays out. Obviously, we're in the middle of it, so we could go down first and then hop up, or we could just resume going back up again. But we've hit this top line several times. We've hit this bottom line several times. So let's see how things go. Let's go over to Nucypher Bitcoin before we get into Bitcoin itself. And where are we right now? So we're in the middle of this channel. I'm not overly worried about it. I have a feeling that through time we will continue going back up here. We could see a pause and head back to 800 on the Nucypher Bitcoin pair. But again, I'm more of a long-term thinker. I'm zooming out here so that you could all look at this and not look at the day-to-day gyrations of the market. Now let's go into Bitcoin because I just want to make sure everyone's very familiar with the fact that just like in the Dow Jones and the S&P in the stock market, everything is driven off of benchmarks. There's nothing you can do about it. We have too many cryptocurrencies here. It's like a stock market, except it's a crypto market. Yes, things can move differently than the benchmark, and that's why we have this equation here. It's not to say they are directly correlated, but it does have an impact on the Nucypher US dollar. So we have to look out for one of the other half of the component is Bitcoin. Nucypher strength relative to Bitcoin is the other half. And it doesn't mean that they both contribute exactly 50-50. I'm just saying if Bitcoin goes up 5% and Nucypher goes down 5%, the Nucypher US dollar has gone 0% anywhere. Okay, so please understand that. This is mathematical. This is not voodoo. So let's make sure we all understand that and go back into the markets. Looking at Bitcoin at 37,500. We're looking pretty good. We have broken this, as we've mentioned yesterday. We're now over this. So this is really healthy. A couple of things everyone should know about from a macro level. JP Morgan now saying that cryptocurrency is in a potential bearish signal here. They're comparing us where we are now with where we were in 2018. I disagree. I think the environment now is much more favorable to Bitcoin than it ever was in 2018 because I lived through 2018 to know that. So I think that, where we are right now is, there's a backwardation. So it has to do with the types of futures that folks are using for Bitcoin. I'm not one bit concerned about that. The other thing that we want to watch out for is Tom Lee. Tom Lee worked at JP Morgan, and he has talked about the fact that he thinks the bottom's already done. We've been in the bottom 2 or 3 weeks ago. So he's made it very clear. And by the way, he is the head of FundStrat. And by the way, they are a huge research company and well recognized and well respected across the institutions and retail side. Bank regulators, just so everyone knows, I'm not sure if everyone understands what Basel is, but bank regulators plot toughest capital rule for Bitcoin. It's not a capital rule quite yet, but they basically are saying that in this new framework, a lot of regulators work with Basel, with the Basel Committee, to adopt new regulatory implementations. So the Basel Committee is saying that, you know, crypto assets are very highly risky, and that's okay. And that's okay. Let them say that, because they're saying it's highly risky, therefore your capital requirement must be more. So it's a little more expensive to operate with the crypto market if you're a bank than if you're than with, you know, fiat currencies. Well, that's okay right now because crypto assets are risky right now, right? But I think as time goes on, what they're already talking about, they're actually recognizing it as a universal asset. If something should, so they're basically saying that crypto is a universal asset. And I think that the fact that folks are starting to think about this as a universal asset, I think that this will be further adopted by the more broader community. And by broader community, I mean broader jurisdictions like, you know, the El Salvadors, the Paraguays, the Panamas, the Brazils, all of those countries will start adopting. I think here in the U.S., they're already at the state level trying to adopt. And let me tell you, they're going to have a lot of pull. So very, 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 very optimistic in terms of where this article came out. It sounded like terrible, but it's really not. It's actually a good thing. So don't just look at the headlines when you read these things. Read underneath, because unfortunately there's a lot of FUD out there. So I'm just here to highlight it to you and keep you all updated as and when this stuff comes out. Anyway, I'm out. I hope everyone has a good Friday Eve. Take care. Bye.